as keeper of a messianic vision that, though mercurial and stinting on specifics, presents an overwhelming and all-consuming picture of a new and different world. By imprinting this vision on his disciples, Zuckerberg founded the Church of a New Religion. There are often business lists of top cult brands such as Google and Lululemon, both of which are discussed later in this book. In terms of company leaders, one common term in high-tech circles is evangelist. This describes a person who is an advocate for the brand or the product and is particularly zealous. Some companies use such a formalized title, while others refer to marketers using this mantle. In corporate circles, there is often talk about the soul of the business or firm. In other words, what the company is about deep down. Experienced business consultants and authors John Izzo and Eric Klein have described the corporate soul as the experience of coming fully alive at work. Foremost, an experience of touching a deeper level of vitality, inspiration, meaning, and creativity. They define soul as a term that signifies the basic vital energy that underlies and animates all human activity. There is also the notion of guarding the soul. In a corporate context, the notion of selling your soul sometimes comes up. This is the well-known notion of a Faustian bargain, which is an agreement with evil in the form of the devil, often, as in the classical story of Faust, with the paradoxical intention of achieving a higher good that is otherwise corrupted. What is the person making the agreement traded to the devil? Can the person avoid being trapped? A pact with the devil is dangerous, for the only thing the devil is said to want is, in fact, the person's soul. Business leaders are warned. Last but not least, the notion of calling is a once religious concept that has definitely gone mainstream. Calling is all the rage because employees are looking for inner direction and satisfaction in their work lives, and they can relate to a focus or force that might compel them in their work. Business leaders are comfortable with calling because while it invokes a powerful motivation, this motivation is no longer necessarily religious. Despite this superficial familiarity with religious concepts, any discussion of concepts that relate to religion and spirituality in a corporate context can be easily misunderstood and misinterpreted. And while there may be references to religious terminology, there remains a lack of accord when it comes to how best to treat religion or spirituality. Religion often makes contemporary corporations nervous. Rather than viewing religion as something providing people with a sense of meaning, guidelines for good ethical behavior, a desire to serve, and a positive force in society, corporations can see it as dangerous, regressive, proselytizing, intolerant, and dogmatic, even something to be kept out of a corporate context. Company leaders will need to have a balanced view of religion and particular faiths, and people who hold none, in order to practice service leadership effectively. If your impressions of religion fall into the latter categories, don't worry. You're in the majority. This book will be a guide to taking the best parts of spirituality and calling and using them in the workplace, while still respecting your employees' spiritual privacy. The foundation of the research in this book. To provide a quick overview at the outset, here is a quick guide to the methodology and practice that went into this project. The findings in this book are based, in large part, on exhaustive first-hand interview research. Senior company leaders have been interviewed over the past decade to provide the content in this book. Many of these interviews were secured through personal relationships and would not be readily available to most researchers. This research includes companies from all over the world, and thus has a cross-cultural perspective. In the context of our discussion, like many others, what is reasonable in one context may not be within another. In the course of a discussion of service leadership, this book draws on insights from companies in Europe, North America, Africa, the Middle East,